Today I'll show you how to crush part 7 of B2 First Exam. I'll show you a step-by-step strategy and real example at the end. So let's go. Let's start with task information. You get one long text divided into sections or several short text. There are 10 questions. Each question asked which person or which section, blah 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 blah. The text always has a title and instructions that tell you the context. The information you're looking for is not always in the same order as the questions. So question 1 may be last text, or question 2 could be the first text. And be careful, sometimes the same opinion could be used more than once. Now, how do we approach this part? What to do first? Let me explain that. First thing you're gonna do is read the title. This will help you understand the idea and you can find relevant information faster. Then you're gonna skim all 10 questions quickly and underline the keywords. Then you're gonna go to the texts and you're gonna scan only the first section. Scan the first section and ask yourself this question: which questions could be related to this text? And when a sentence looks like a match, then you are going to do this. You're gonna reread the question and read the evidence in that text quickly and ask yourself, does this sentence express the same idea? Remember, we're not looking for the same words. If they have exactly the same words, could be a trap. So be very careful. We're not looking for same words, same ideas. Now it's time to go to the second section. You do exactly the same thing with the second section. Read that part and try to match as many questions as you can with that section. You do that as many times as needed to finish all sections. Now you might say, I don't know how to find similar ideas. I don't know what that means. Let me show you a real example so you understand better. Let's study this question. We have some questions from 43 to 48, and we have an extract here, and we're gonna match the text with the correct question. Questions are like this: which person took up this means of transport for environmental reasons? Which person feels that traveling this way is more comfortable than it was? Which person once arrived late at work because of transport delays? And which person dislikes having to travel surrounded by a lot of people? Which person has to walk a considerable distance every day? And which person thinks they pay too much to travel to and from work? Now let's read the text. Shop assistant Laura Sanchez recently switched from the bus to the tram to get to work. I wasn't keen at first, she says, because the nearest stop is more than a kilometer from my house, and that's quite a long way on foot twice a day. I also used to think that trams were cold, noisy things with hard wooden seats, but when I saw how much nicer they are these days, I decided to make the change. The only problem, she adds, is that if one breaks down, there's a complete tram jam. One Monday morning I was stuck like that for over an hour and my boss wasn't pleased. Now let's take a look at questions and try to match them with the text. The part that says, feels it's more comfortable now, and she used to think trams were cold and noisy, but now saw how much nicer they are. So this is connected to question 44. Feels that traveling this way is more comfortable than it was. So the answer is 44. Also look at this part. Arrived late because of delays. There was a part that one Monday morning I was stuck for over an hour and my boss wasn't pleased. And if you look at question 45, once arrived late at work because of transport delays, exactly has the same idea. And look at question 47, has to walk a considerable distance every day, which is related to this section. The nearest stop is more than a kilometer, twice a day. And that is exactly connected to question 47. And notice how the proof is not just one word. We're trying to connect ideas together here. And that's exactly how part 7 works. Now let's take a look at other questions. Question 43, which person took up this means of transport for environmental reasons? Well, we don't have any connection with this question and the text, so 43 probably is related to another text. And look at question 46, dislikes having to travel surrounded by a lot of people. There's no evidence or anything that she says about that. There's only part that she said, I used to think that trams were cold, noisy things with hard wooden seats, but when I saw how much nicer they are these days, I decided to make the change. So she likes it and she's using it, despite the fact that she thought it was not really good. So 46 is not related to this text. And question 48, thinks they pay too much to travel to and from work. She did not talk about price or anything that is expensive in this text. So again, 48 is also not related to this section. Now let me give you some final tips for part 7. As you can see, evidence could be spread across the text in more than one sentence. So try to read the whole thing and understand it. Different sections can sound similar. Choose the one that exactly matches the meaning of the question. Remember, you are going to use same letter for different questions. There's going to be 4 to 5 text, and you're going to have 10 questions. So you may need to use, I don't know, A 3 times. So don't be afraid to say A. It's fine. Do not chase identical words. Look for same ideas with different language. And also be very careful with these common traps. The first trap is word echo. For example, if in the question you see the word later, and when you're reading you also see the word afterwards, but the ideas are completely different, that's just a trap. You see, the languages are different, they have the same meaning, but the idea is completely different. So be careful. Trap number 2 is opinion versus facts. Like if the question asks about how someone feels, you need to look for some words like pleased, I prefer, annoyed, surprised, something like this. Last trap is partial match. That means if the first part of a sentence looks pretty good, but the second part talks about completely a different story or changes the meaning, probably that's not the answer. Try to read the full idea. And I'd say spend maximum of 12 minutes on this part. No more than that. Unless you saved up some time from previous sections. Also, when you're practicing, try to take a look at this checklist. Ask yourself these questions. Did I underline the keywords in every question? Did I verify the idea in the text, not just match vocabulary? Did I allow the same letter to be used more than once? Did I leave any question blank? Because you should never leave blanks. And if you need help to pass B2 First exam, my Instagram ID is right here. Try to DM me and I'll be glad to help you. If this video was useful, don't forget to like so more B2 students can actually watch this video. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.